Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Fateme Ibrahimi, and I'm here to presenting my research about maternity leave policies and its impact on women's leadership for my HR course for Professor Johnny McKay, and it's October 2024. Uh, Contents: Introduction, research question, thesis statement, policy comparison, analysis of beneficial policy, recommendation by country, global adoption of best practices, and conclusion. At the end, I will provide a topic for further study in this section. Uh, as all of us know, gender equity is one of the global challenges, which is only 29% of leadership roles are held by women all over the world. That has a lot of reasons, such as structural barriers, cultural norm, and also organizational biases. One thing that I think can impact women's career progression is maternity leave policies. Uh, mm, Women post-maternity sometimes can't return their work or continue their progression for upper position. And also, this share of women for leadership roles is different between different countries. In some countries, the share is upper, and some countries is lower. So I explore my study, and some countries such as Sweden, the US, Taiwan, Iran, and Canada to show this variety and also study on variety policies for maternity leave to see what's their impact. So as a result, we can see the research question is that how do maternity leave policies across country influence women's leadership progression, and what factors contribute to or harm gender parity? This is a statement. Uh, After study different policies from different countries and also the impact of maternity leave in their women leadership position, we can see effective maternity leave policies when combined with shared caregiving, flexible reintegration, and leadership development can significantly promote women's advancement into leadership roles. That's a cross-country analysis, so we can see differences in regularity and cultural, and also those influences on the share of women of leadership role. Uh, Also, the focus of the HR-driven reforms to balance family responsibilities and leadership opportunities. Now, here is the policy comparisons, and I want to tell you more about the policy of maternity leave in 5 countries chosen. Sweden. Sweden offers 418 days of paid leave, which is 19 days specifically reserved for fathers. And also, all days are paid by the government. USA. The United States offer 12 weeks of unpaid, which is 84 days. Um, Under the Family and Medical Leave Act, and all the days are unpaid, and also there's a limitation to use both parents of the of this leave because it may both parents apply for that, and if both parents work at the same company, if they cannot use the um, day off because they work in the same company. Otherwise, if the parents work in various company, they can use the unpaid day off. And Taiwan offer 8 weeks, 56 days. It's paid, uh, but there are also some cultural issue because it's not shared between the parents. It's just limited for the women. Iran, Iran also uh, offer the 217 for um, one child, and if the child are twins, they can also use 365 days, and all the days are paid by the government. But that's a big issue, is it's not shared between parents, and it's just provide for the uh, mother. And at the end, Canada offer 441 days, which is 119 of it is paid, and it's also shared between the parents. Now we want to analyze and give the beneficial of these policies. When we discuss the policies, we can see some of the countries provide very well structured for the maternity leave, and it also impact. It also has positive impacted on the women's progression uh, in their career, even so upper positions, and some of them unless they bring uh, enough days of leave, they cannot manage this situation. So as we can see, Sweden has a high rates of female leadership, which is 14 persons, and it is because Sweden offers shared caregiving and also flexible work policies for the parents. United States has low rates of female leadership, which is 15% due to unpaid leave and career, which bring a financial strain uh, force, force and contribute to early return for families, including father and mother. Taiwan has low rates of female leadership, which is 15%, due to its cultural norms and also lack of shared leave and enough payday. Iran has low rates of female leadership, less than 5%. It can be the cultural issue in Iran, but also I think the importance of the policy of maternity leave has exerted negative influences on that, because also Iran offer wide range of days and paid days for the maternity leave. It's just for offer for women, so it can exert a negative influence on their women to continue their career. And also, some of the companies see it as a negative point um, to give the women leadership roles because they are off for a long time after maternity leave. Canada has a moderate rates of female leadership, which is 29% due to shared leave. The issues is that in Canada, um, mm, there are low father participation in such uh, leave and caregiving, leave for caregiving, and also there is a limit for paydays in Canada that's bring a financial issue for both father and mother. Now in this section, we can see there are some recommendations by the country. We study 5 countries and different structure of and policies in maternity leave. So we can see what are the advantages and disadvantages in these countries and apply them or use them as a positive or negative points. Sweden, as we say, Sweden um, bring well-structured policies. So I think uh, although Sweden bring well-structured policies for maternity leave, um, these days the uh, gender equity is um, also global challenges. So it means that we need to give some extra points, extra skill to the women and help them to improve their career because it's not equal then. The men and women are have don't have equal um, situation in the workplace. So I think it's need to add some extra point for them to reach to the same place as the men there. For example, Sweden can enhance leadership reintegration program, mentorship, and flexible career planning. Uh, for the US, as we see, there are some barriers, including the flexible reintegration program and also unpaid. US should add the paid leave for the both parents and also adopt flexible reintegration programs. Taiwan, as we see, Taiwan need to work on their its culture. So one of the way we can change the culture is the introducing regularity in policies. It can be helpful to change some culture barriers for the women. So promote shared parental leave and develop leadership specific training for women can be helpful. Iran, for Iran, the same. We have some problem with a cultural barrier, but also I think the current structure for maternity leave to Iran should change because it's focus by the focus on the women, it's bring the cultural barriers and it's increase this uh, distance between the men and women in the workplace. So implement shared parental leave, flexible work option, and leadership program can be useful for the Iran. For Canada, as we saw, the big problem is most of the days of um, leave, parental leave is unpaid. So it's bring a financial issue uh, and force the parents to return earlier. And so it's sometimes bring some barriers for women to continue their career progression because they think they cannot afford to use the childcare, so they prefer to stay at home and take care of their child. After we study these five countries' policies and see what are the advantage and see what can they do to improve the situation and give the woman the most share of not the most the better share of the leadership roles, we can adopt those uh, positive points for the other countries. It can be a global adoptions of best practices, shared parental leave, uh, redistributing caregiving responsibility, reserving leave for fathers, and normalizing shared caregiving to promote women's leadership. Also, paid parental leave, addressing financial barriers, reducing career interruptions, and promoting gender equality in caregiving. Flexible reintegration programs, implement phased uh, return to work and leadership development programs, and cultural shifts, educational campaigns to shift social perceptions to gender roles and promote leadership development post maternity leave. All these uh, items can help the government to redesign their policy based on that to help the impact of maternity leave and help the women to reach upper roles in leading. Uh, as a conclusion, I really want to say effective maternity leave policies combined with flexible reintegration and leadership support can drive gender parity in leadership. Uh, Countries with balanced policies and strong HR frameworks see higher women leadership retention. So I want to suggest a future study mm, to give a better result in this field because the maternity leave has another purpose is that the growth population that the government follow that. So if we want to see the women and growth population and also their women's satisfaction of the uh, presence in workplace and also progression in uh, taking upper roles in their work, um, it's good to investigate how corporate parental leave policies impact women's leadership satisfaction, and this can result in family planning, especially in nations facing decline of birth rates. Uh, that's my presentation of research paper about maternity leave and its impact for my HR course. Thank you for having me